Welcome back to Good Morning La Land. Meredith Thomas is in the house. Some call her the Ion Baby, but she is the go-to actress and producer for Lifetime Ion. And you've got a great new holiday film coming out. Tell us a little bit about it.
Oh, yes, I have on December 16th. So it's 1 week from this Sunday. The baby's gonna follow the queen. So I am going to, it's called A Christmas in Royal Fashion. And it combines all the exciting things this holiday season. Princes and Christmas, and I'm not quite the evil queen, but I'm not a very nice boss in this movie.
You're on the naughty list.
Exactly. I am on the naughty list. I may or may not make my way to the nice list by the end of the film. You'll have to watch and see. She's kind of like, you guys remember Working Girl?
Yeah.
Sigourney Weaver. When I read the script, I was like, oh yeah, she's a Sigourney Weaver Working Girl type.
We all want to be her.
Yeah.
At some level.
Yeah, except she didn't get Harrison Ford in the end.
She got herself.
That's true. That's true. That's true. That's true. Sigourney,
no offense to Harrison Ford.
Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah.
So this is certainly not your first foray into holiday films. You had that film with Chevy Chase. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, A Christmas in Vermont. They all talk about Christmas. I was cast as one of the leads in A Christmas in Vermont, and had no idea Chevy was going to be in the film. I knew that they were looking for a name for the boss role. So it just kept getting better. It was like Christmas for me because here I have this lovely role of a really supportive, this one was a supportive woman, not a mean boss. She was actually really supportive of the ingenue and her wishes to grow as an entrepreneur. And then suddenly, they're like, hey, Meredith, can you stay a little longer in New York? Because we think it would be really neat if you were Chevy's business date in the final scene of the movie. I was like, let me think about that. I really have to rush back to LA. I don't know if I can work with one of a comedic legend like that. I think I might have an audition back in LA. No, I was like, yes, and what else are you going to throw at me? So here it was, this great opportunity. Ion has been, I think for 10 years, gotten into the whole Christmas movie thing. So I was at not quite the beginning of that, but I was really excited, and then suddenly it became better and better. Chevy was on board. Howard Hessman from WKRP in Cincinnati, also comedic genius. I've done a lot of stand-up comedy. I've done a lot of improv. So it was just a dream. I'm working with Howard Hessman, one of the original great improvisers in the world. And then I'm working with somebody I grew up watching on SNL, like the classic SNL. I'm like, okay. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to me.
I love that. I have to ask, I love your outfit. It's so beautiful.
Thank you. You girls are always so glamorous.
They are.
I'm like
they really
5 days a week. Seriously,
it's incredible.
I pulled it together for today. This is a designer. Her name is Jaja Bodis. Jaja. She's Hungarian, and she is as fabulous as her name implies. And I pretty much wear her as much as possible.
Well, because I don't know if you guys can see in the audience, but there's like a little red lining inside, as if it's like
it's cool, the contrast. Yeah.
And then it matches her, fingernails, and it's
a whole thing.
It's a whole thing.
Yeah. It's kind of. I think it says Christmas diva.
Yes. Fair enough.
Getting that vibe.
Yeah.
It must be so rewarding to kind of be that Christmas diva. I mean, all these feel-good holiday films. Has that become a part of your tradition?
Absolutely. I'm not going to lie. It's pretty awesome to be able to put on a cup of cocoa with your mom and have a Christmas tree on and be able to watch yourself on a film. Like I get to pinch myself not only every Christmas, but pretty in the hot July sunshine when I'm shooting my Christmas movies in my little wool blazer out in the valley. But it's like, no, It has become part of my tradition. My friends I'm from Alaska and New Hampshire, long stories, but my friends back east, I recently got a text saying, it's starting to get cold here. What Christmas movie can we expect you in this year?
Oh, wow.
So that's nice.
It's so interesting because I read a little bit in your bio about you growing up in Alaska and your parents teaching Eskimos.
Yeah. Yeah, so I spent 7 years in a village above the Arctic Circle.
Wow.
So 24 hours of daylight all summer, complete darkness all winter. So maybe that's why I keep going to the North Pole in these movies. My parents taught with the Bureau of Native Affairs, and so I was the principal's daughter in this teeny little village. At that time, there were still dog sleds in every yard.
A Christmas village.
Yeah, it really was. So I guess this is my reward for the darkness. I bring Christmas joy.
I love
Paid your
it.
debt in advance.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
I paid
absolutely.
it in my early years.
How did that early period of your life inform your life now and your career now? Or was it helpful in any way?
Oh, absolutely. I was so lucky to have an opportunity that very few people in the world will ever had. One, I got to be in a village. I got to be the minority as a little girl. I also got to see what, not to get too serious, but I guess we can, what this country has done by the way of Native Americans and by the way of Eskimos, and what taking over land has done to this culture. So I got to be there and see that, and that was an amazing gift to see a part of the world that has been affected by that change. I mean, this is a meat-eating community. Now, I'm a vegetarian now, but I certainly ate meat when I was in the village. My dad was a hunter and a fisherman. But this is a meat-eating community that alcohol and sugar were brought to. And to see how that affected their bodies, the alcoholism in this village is very extreme. I got to see a lot of not so nice things up to 7 years, and then my formative years. So, I think probably a lot of my activism just was innate in me. My parents were, they right out of college wanted to teach Native Americans. So I was really lucky that I knew how important education was, and how important it was to recognize our differences, but also understand that we're totally the same.
Well, and you're working actively with kittens, right?
I have so many, yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, the elks, yes, exactly. I stopped eating elk, and now I am the leading knight of the Van Nuys Reseda Elks Lodge, and the elks are all about charity. So I work really actively with a lot of veterans organizations. I one of my best friends runs an animal rescue in LA. I work very close with them. I mentor young kids with young storytellers. I mentor 5th graders for script writing. So I didn't become the teacher my parents hoped not in the traditional way. I didn't become the teacher they hoped I would be, but I am really active with young people. And I think like I said, I hit the ground running with gratitude every day, and I just kind of want to bring that. My old high school drama teacher, she said, "Meredith, you're my cheerleader for life." And I think that I decided a long time ago to be one of the most positive and optimistic people in the world. You have to have a goal that that can't necessarily meet to keep you going, right?
Well, yeah, your light is contagious.
Totally. And absolutely. And from my perspective, that is the highest teaching of all, is just teaching optimism and teaching, faith and trust in life itself. And I think that our best and brightest teachers often don't call themselves teachers, and so you certainly qualify in that respect. What would you say you've learned in the process that you would want to teach or share with the rest of the world?
That life is too darn short to allow anything to stay in your life that doesn't make you happy. I've seen so many people that are in positions that they cannot change things. So if you're in a lucky position to be able to change something in your life that makes you unhappy, then do it. Because if it ain't fun, don't do it, right? It's like that it is way too short to be stuck in unhappiness for too long. And usually we can change everything that we complain about.
Love that.
Summed it all up right there.
Sure did.
Where can people find you?
You can find me all over the place at Meredith Actress. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and I hope you'll love A Christmas in Royal Fashion coming up on September 16th as much as I do.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Stay tuned. We'll be back tomorrow in the morning, La La Land.